Dave Koss, take it away.
Hello. How are you doing? Well, my name's Dave Koss, and I own a production company here in Dallas. And we do mostly animation and special effects. So to give you an example of some of the stuff we do, one of our recent things that we did, has anybody heard of Pokemon? And how about The Rock? Does anybody know who The Rock is? So we had to do something for The Rock. It's called Poke Rock. So we made an animation for him, and we turned him into a Pokemon character, Poke Rock. So that's the kind of thing we do, and before I get going, I'm going to show you my demo reel, which is a mixture of all the different things that I've done over the years. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the different types of animation. You've probably seen cartoons, of course, which that's one type of animation. So you can draw animation. You can also take a bunch of pictures of something over and over, and maybe with clay, and move the clay around and take another picture. That's a type of animation. And of course you can make animation on computers, which is what most people do now these days. So animation is just what happens when you take a bunch of pictures and you put them together and you show them all really fast. Cartoons are done mostly by hand or on the computer. And when you're watching an animation, you're usually seeing 24 different pictures every single second, sometimes 30, depending on what you're watching. But they make those one at a time and they play them back really, really fast so it looks like they're moving. And one of my favorite cartoons is Adventure Time. In fact, a couple of years ago for Halloween, our family dressed up as Adventure Time. My daughter was Rainicorn, and I couldn't find a costume, so I made that myself. Sewing machine and everything. It was fun. So as far as my upbringing, my early years, I really loved cartoons. I went to Zavala Elementary School, not the Zavala that's there now, but the one that was there before they rebuilt it. And I wanted to grow up, and I wanted to make movies, and I wanted to make cartoons and animations. I even had my own office. Now, on my desk there's a few different things. There's a tape player, and there's a record player, and there's a typewriter. And I don't know if y'all know what any of those things are. But there was a cartoon on Sesame Street, and it had a typewriter in it, and I really, really liked it. In fact, I've actually gone and collected all the different versions of this, A through Z, and I have them all because I like it so much. And when I was a kid, I always wanted to do this. I saw this, and I was like, I want to be able to draw that and make the cartoon and everything. And I would actually pause my cartoons. So I would pause that, and I would sit there with a piece of paper, and I would draw it and make it look like what I saw on the screen. But there was no way for me to record the animation. I had to learn about how to do that, which means I had to learn about video. So my brother and I, we got our parents' video camera, and we started making movies with the video camera, and we learned how to make videos. And there's some stop animation that we did there. And we learned how to use the camera well enough so that we could start making our own thing. We started making stop animation with Legos and Ninja Turtle characters and Micro Machines. I don't know if Micro Machines are still around. We take a picture of one of the Lego guys, and then we move them, and then we take another picture, and then we move them again, and we do that over and over and over until we had something. So I did not make this next thing, but I wanted to show you an example of what animating a Lego character looks like.
City Hotel, please.
That's an example of stop animation. That's basically what you can do if you take one picture at a time. Now, computer animation is what's mostly used now, so it's done on the computer. So like the Lego movie wasn't done like that. The Lego movie was actually built on a computer, using computers and building the different pieces and putting them together that way. And so they don't do a lot of that anymore. It's still around. But when I was growing up, there was a TV show on PBS called Computer Dreams, and it had a whole bunch of stuff about animation, and I really liked it. I watched it over and over, and there's an animation that I really liked on it called Red's Dream, and I wanted to make something that looked like that because it looked so real to me. And here's another animation from that as well. There's some lamps. And this and the other one I just showed you are made by a company called Pixar. They were a very new company at the time, but now they make things like Finding Nemo, Toy Story, and Cars. And in the fact, at the beginning of every single movie now, you see this with the lamp. And that's that lamp from that animation from a long time ago. My education, as far as I went to school, where I went to school, I went to school and started learning about computers. I read about computers. I wanted to know everything about computers. I wanted to save up my money, buy a computer, and I did that. In second grade, I bought my own, and I go home and I read about computers, and I just wanted to know about them more and more. So there's 2D animation and 3D animation. 2D is kind of flat, kind of like Adventure Time, and 3D is what you see in the Pixar movies. And so I started drawing on my computer, and eventually my brother and I, we got an animation program from my parents, and we started making our own animations on the computer. This is probably back in the early 90s, I guess. And so by the time I got to high school, I had a lot of practice drawing and doing stuff on the computer. And some of the teachers noticed me. And they introduced me to other teachers in the video department at the school. They even played some of my stuff when I was a freshman in high school on the TV show there at South Grand Prairie. And South Grand Prairie had a really great video program, just full of great students and teachers and equipment and everything. Kind of had an advantage, and so it was a great place to be. That's me on the right there. And so the teachers noticed that I really liked doing that stuff, and they let me come in after school and use the computers and learn 3D animation on the computers. It was the first time I could really do 3D stuff on the computer. And I thought, you know, now I can finally do those things that I saw in those movies all those years ago. And so I started making my own 3D creations like this. And then I was off learning 3D animation. But they didn't look as good as the stuff that I saw on TV. I didn't know why. Why doesn't that look like the really realistic stuff? I wanted to make stuff look real and realized that I had more learning to do. So I went to college and I learned how to do more stuff in video and computers and animation. Really learned a lot about video, about lighting and about sound and about all that kind of stuff. And it really helped me get better. And here's an animation that I did when I was in college. You can see it's looking a little more like it's real. There's a cassette tape and some CDs playing with each other. And after college, I got a job and I went on to do a bunch of video stuff. I kind of forgot about animation. I did more video. I ended up traveling a lot and did a lot of concerts, traveling the world and flying around. I was actually, I was George Strait's video director for a while. I went on and I did a lot of other concert things. I did the Oprah tour as well. And one day I was at home and I saw this video and it was on the internet and I really, really liked it because I couldn't believe that this is all made on the computer. None of this is real. It looked so real to me, and that's what I wanted to do back when I was a kid. This is called the third and the seventh. I really, at that point, I wanted to go back to doing animation because that was my original dream, was to make things that looked real, but make them on the computer in 3D. So I started to learn more on my own because I was done with college at that point. And I realized that even when you're done with college, you never really stop learning. I went on YouTube and I watched videos on how to make things like this. And I started getting better and I started learning new stuff on the computer. Think of anything that you love to do. You can make that your job and you can actually make money doing that. I started making things that look more and more real, and now our company does stuff like this. We do architectural stuff as well. So this, got a couple other rooms here, things like this. None of this is real. None of these are photos. These are all made on the computer. Every piece of it, all of the lighting, all of the pieces of fabric, the plants, everything is made on a computer. Doing 3D, though, isn't just about being an artist, especially if you have your own company and you're not working for somebody else. You have to know a ton of different subjects. So I have a list here of just some of the subjects you need to know in order to do animation. This is why school is so important. All of these subjects will help you be what you want to be. And all of those subjects help me do what I do now. And some of them you're learning now in elementary school, and some of them you won't learn until you're in middle school, high school, even college, a lot of it. And then, of course, after you're done with that, you'll probably learn a lot more on your own. So I'm going to give you an example of how I can use these different subjects together. If I wanted to make a story about a bouncy ball, and I'm in my program, this is what my program looks like when I'm animating. The first thing that I need is a ball. Well, it's there, but it doesn't really look like anything yet. So I'm going to have to know about lights if I want to do some lighting for the ball. So there's a light. And you know what? Also, I need to know how I can move this ball around. So I need to know math, because This right here, moving different ways, that's actually algebra. Also, I need to have a better picture. I want it to look better, so I have to know about cameras and video so that I can make a better looking picture and make it look pretty. But then I also have to know how to write, because I can do all of this, but if there's no story, then that's no fun. You can't make a good animation. So I'm going to write a story. One day, a ball fell from the sky. Now I need to know about science and physics and math, because I want to add to the story, and I'm going to say that one day this ball was lonely and he wanted all of his friends to come and visit him. And so they came to visit him. Now, all of that there is physics and math. This is still missing something. This is missing sound. So you have to know about sound too, and how to make audio and record audio and do sound effects and things like that. And when you add that, it's even better. And all those different things combined help you make an animation. All that learning from elementary school, middle school, high school, college, and everything that I did even after that, that helped me to get where I am today. And now, 30 years after I first started thinking about animation and getting into animation, I did one of my very favorite animations so far, and it was actually nominated for an Emmy. And I'm going to show that to you now.
All right, let's give him a round of applause.
Brograph.com, an online resource for learning critical components of Cinema 4D and After Effects, specifically catered to help you prevail as a motion graphic designer.
What's up, bros? Welcome to another Brograph motion graphics tutorial.
We give you professional time-saving tips, shortcuts, and lessons that help give you an edge over your fellow designers. Not only this, but our new Brograph Talks help you in your file management, hardware configuration, and client relations.
I love projects that scare me. When our art director comes to us and asks for something that I had never done before, man, it gets me pumped.
Join us for live sessions, check out our crazy Cinema 4D experiments, or just watch our Fun with Brograph series, where we show you practical applications for techniques learned in previous tutorials. Do this from the beginning, and your client is going to respect that, and they're going to respect you, and they're going to respect your time. Subscribe today and get automatic updates on the latest tutorials, tricks, tips, and inspiration brought to you by industry professionals Dave Koss and Matt Milstead, all with a slight dash of dry humor peppered in. Real nice banana.
Brograph.com, your source for tutorials that will help you thrive in the motion graphics industry. Don't just play around with Cinema 4D and After Effects, master it, and make money by becoming indispensable at your workplace.
We don't care how you get here, folks. Just get here. Subscribe now to Brograph Tutorials. It's pretty good, I guess.